There is a new twist to the trial of Maryam Sanda, the young woman who allegedly killed her husband, Bilyamin Bello, son of a former PDP chairman, Haliru Bello, in Abuja. Now, 3 members of the Sanda family have been joined in the murder suit, including Mrs. Maimuna Sanda, who is Maryam's mother, Aliu Sanda, her brother, and one Safia Sanda. At the resumed hearing today, the prosecution counsel, Mr. Joseph Idachaba, told the court that the charge has been amended to include the new defendants. But the charge could not be read, as the prosecutor further stated that the 3 new defendants could not be served before the resumed sitting. Our correspondent, Amaka Okafo, reports.
2 weeks after her initial arraignment on the 24th of November, Mrs. Maryam Sanda, who is standing trial on allegations of murder, returns to court, covering her face with a scarf, clutching her baby and prayer beads. Inside the courtroom, her trial fails to commence. The prosecution informs the court that the 2-count charge initially brought against her of conspiracy to commit murder, as well as murder itself, has been amended. The amendment includes 3 other people, namely her family members Maimuna Sanda, Aliu Sanda, and Safia Sanda. But the prosecutor, Mr. Joseph Idachaba, does not disclose in open court the offences for which the 3 new accused persons are being charged.
We felt others who attempted or who took part in tampering with evidence were also joined as an accessories after the fact. And that is exactly what it is. It is those people that we are yet to have them before the court. And that is exactly what has affected today's proceedings.
Defense counsel Mr. Joseph Daudu does not oppose the amended charge application, but seeks the leave of the court to get interim bail for his client, Mrs. Maryam Sanda, on the ground that she is a nursing mother. But the trial judge, Justice Halilu Yusuf, turns down the application as it will mean going into the facts of Mrs. Sanda's bail application, which is already pending before the court. He therefore rules that her bail application will be heard on the next adjourned date.
As you said, it was interim, and it will appear if the judge granted it, he would have predetermined the final one. So we'll wait till next Thursday and move the main application. While Mrs. Sanda fights for her freedom inside the court, outside, protesters carry placards in a silent demonstration against violence. Mrs. Maryam Sanda will have to spend another week on remand in the Suleja female prison until Thursday the 14th of December, when her bail application will be decided. Amaka Okafo, Channels Television News.
Still on legal matters, the news of Justice Adeniyi Ademola's voluntary retirement from the public service may not actually be true after all. That's because the National Judicial Commission has issued a statement calling on Nigerians to disregard the voluntary retirement claim. The statement says the NJC, under the chairmanship of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Walter Onohen, recommended Justice Ademola's compulsory retirement over allegations of misconduct. The statement from the NJC reads, and I quote, "The public is hereby informed to disregard news circulating on some news media that Honorable Mr. Justice Ademola has voluntarily retired. The purported voluntary retirement is clearly an afterthought, as the council had taken action before his decision to forward any voluntary retirement letter," end of quote. Justice Ademola was earlier in the year discharged and acquitted by an Abuja High Court on charges of money laundering and abuse of office. The National Judicial Council said then, in the interim, it had suspended the justice pending the ratification of his retirement. As a way of addressing persistent clashes between farmers and herdsmen, which had resulted in loss of lives and property in Plateau State, a youth group has presented a citizens' bill on anti-open grazing to the State House of Assembly. The bill, according to the group, is to curtail the unregulated rearing of animals, which, if passed by the legislators, will bring an end to wanton killings, especially in the hinterlands.
Armed with placards and amongst fanfare, these youths marched the streets of Jos, the Plateau State capital, to lend their voice to the call for the passage of the anti-open grazing law. Policemen are around to ensure that this intended peaceful walk is not hijacked.
Can we give them a future bossa for passing this bill?
The walk terminates at the State Assembly complex, where they express optimism that the law, when passed, as done in other states, will check the spate of deaths resulting from farmers-herdsmen clashes.
So many occasions we have had issues on how our people have been killed in various villages, and we have seen from our study visits to other houses of assembly, when those bans have been effected, the killings stopped. And we feel that if such ban is being effected on the plateau, we'll have some level of understanding that the killings will reduce, the killings will stop.
The Speaker of the State Assembly was available to receive and assures them of doing everything to stop the clashes and the killings.
Thank you very much.
We are assuring you that all the bills that we are going to pass, including this, you will still come. So that we hear from you properly, you hear from us. And other experts will equally be invited.
With those words of assurance, these youths are hopeful that the last deaths recorded from the farmer-herders clashes will be the last.
Time to switch to Abuja, the nation's capital now, where Linda Akibe is standing by with more news. Good evening, Linda.
Good evening, Ladi, and good to see you. The president is asking Nigerians to be more patient with his government as he intensifies efforts to revive the nation's economy and fight corruption, despite the series of defenses put up by some corrupt Nigerians. President Muhammadu Buhari was speaking at a town hall meeting with traditional rulers, members of civil society organizations and the business community in Kano State. President Buhari is also more concerned about reviving agriculture, improving security and fighting corruption. He also revealed plans to begin dredging of crude oil in some parts of northern Nigeria and the setting up of a cargo port for export of Nigerian-made products to other countries of the world. President Buhari is on a two-day visit to Kano State, where he has inaugurated projects initiated by the state governor, Abdullahi Ganduje. Meanwhile, the president has arrived his country home, Daura, in Katsina State, from where he would return to Abuja. Two Nigerians, Professor Adesoji Adeshino and Dr. Bruce Onobrapeya, have been honored with the National Order of Merit Award. The award is for their contributions to creative, intellectual and academic pursuits of global reckoning. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo presented the 2017 awards in the council chambers of the State House in Abuja. The two recipients join 73 other Nigerians who have been honored since the inception of the awards 38 years ago. Now to politics. Nigeria's former Vice President Abubakar Atiku has held a closed-door meeting with former military President Ibrahim Babangida in Minna, the Niger State capital. Atiku was received at the Minna airport by the Deputy Governor of Niger State, Ahmed Kesu, the Head of Service, Yabagi Sule, and the State PDP Chairman, Barrister Tanko Beji, and other party members. The purpose of Atiku's visit to the former military president is not yet clear, but there are indications that it may not be unconnected with his political ambition ahead of a national convention of the People's Democratic Party scheduled for December the 9th. The former vice president declined questions from reporters at the end of the meeting. History was made today in Remo Land, Ogun State, as the 19th Akaribo and paramount ruler of Remo Land was installed in Shagamu, Ogun State. He is Oba Adewale Ajayi. At the installation and presentation of staff of office, the state governor, Ibikunle Amusun, charged the new Akaribo of Remo Land to embrace an inclusive administration that would encourage unity and selflessness. Governor Amusun also enjoined residents of Remo Land to continue to live in peace and harmony for the continued development of the area and Ogun State in general.
These rights by Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amusun signifies the installation of Oba Adewale Ajayi as the 19th Akaribo of Remo Land in Shagamu, Ogun State. Present to witness this occasion at the Shagamu International Stadium are Nigeria's Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, the Oni of Ife, paramount ruler of Egba Land, and sons and daughters of Remo Land.
Remo Pusan, Remo Pusan, Dede Onire, Mashori Ire.
After a rigorous selection process of the Oba, what Governor Amusun wants next is that the people of Remo Land continue to accord him unflinching support, cooperation, and understanding.
It is my conviction that by the light turnout today, you will all join hands and give Kabesi your unflinching support, cooperation, and understanding required to surpass the achievements of the past Akaribos. I charge all indigenes of Shagamu and by extension, all natives and residents of Remo Land to continue to live in peace and harmony for the continued development of Remo Land in particular and Ogun State as a whole.
For the Vice President, it's a homecoming of sorts.
Through the ages, this throne has proved to be a bastion of freedom, hope, and egalitarianism. From the days of its founding, when men fleeing from the jihad of Uthman Dan Fodio and the collapse of the Oyo Empire.
As he takes on his new role, the Akaribo of Remo Land is full of gratitude to all present, the Council of Obas, and indeed the government and people of Ogun State.
We also commend and sincerely thank the government of Ogun State under the very able leadership of His Excellency Senator Ibikunle Amusun, CON FCA, for the role it has played from the beginning of this process to today's event. The state government truly deserves all the praise we can shower on it for overseeing one of the most efficient and transparent selection process ever in the Obaship stool in Yoruba land.
As the 19th Akaribo of Remo Land assumes office, the people of Remo Land are full of expectation that his reign will usher in for them more prosperity for the land.